Hey, what's up guys, and welcome in this new video where I'm gonna show you how to create the perfect kick for your tech house track. So first of all, we're gonna start with some generic information about how a kick works and how it's made. Then I'm gonna show you some bad examples and some technical mistakes that you can do when picking your kick drums. And then I'm gonna show you some different good kicks that can work well in various situations. So let's start by this first kick drum that we have here, and this is basically decomposing a full kick. As you can see here, we have top, body and sub. So let's have a listen to the entire kick first. And what we did here was simply divide the kick in these three elements. The first one is the top. As you can hear, this is just the click of the kick drum, and it's important to make it stand out in the mix, otherwise you will only have the sub and the body. Then we have the body, which is part of the kick that covers the mid frequencies. And as you can hear, you have a lot of the attack in this section, and then you have the sub, which is what makes the kick powerful. So this is how we can divide a kick drum. Now there are some few other technical things to learn about kicks, and they concern the key of a kick drum. So for this we're going to use the kick chew, and we're going to hear this kick first. So as you can see here, to determine the key of the kick drum, we have to look these two deep points, and we're going from C sharp 2 to G1, and as you can see, we don't have a stable frequency here. Instead we have this kind of pitch down effect going from C sharp to G1. In this case it's really difficult to determine the key of the kick, because as you can hear, we are gliding from one key to the other. Well, if you want to determine the key of a kick drum, or if you want to make a kick drum in a specific key, you have to have a kind of a constant line here. So you have to stay, for example, in G1, as this is the case. So this kick will be in a G. You can also go, for example, in A. And this kick will be in A, but the important thing is that these 2 points are on the same frequencies and we don't have any shifts or glides. So this is more of the theoretical part behind making a kick drum. Now we're gonna see some of the mistakes. The first one is DC offset. So this issue is not that common, but can happen if you are recording a kick drum from an hardware source. And as you can see, the main problem here is that we have much more information below this horizontal line than on top of it. And as you can see, also the shape of the waveform, we have this kind of smiley face here, and this is a problem because first of all, you can hear that it doesn't sound that good, also because technically it will create some more issues in the mix. So to fix these issues, there are some plugins that can do that for you. However, I recommend to in general not use this kind of kick drums because they are really hard to deal with. Then another issue that you might find in some kick drums is that they are stereo. So probably you won't hear it unless you are on some good pair of headphones. So we're gonna have the imager to show it to you. As you can see, it's very wide, and this is really problematic for your low end. So you always have to make sure that the kick is in mono. Another problem has to do with the waveform, and there are some instances where you can have some very late peaks like this. Even if this could sound good in certain situations, it can create a lot of problems, especially when the mastering and mixing the track, because this part here will interfere a lot with the limiting and the other low frequencies that you have. So you really have to be careful for this one. Then we have clipping. So here there are some styles where you can find this kind of kick drums, like hardstyle or some hard techno tracks. In general, they are not really recommended, first of all because they don't sound good, and also because they can create some problem when mastering the track with the limiter, or if there's gonna be some more clipping to the track. And then the final mistake that you can do when picking your kick drum is having a kick where the fundamental is too low. So by listening to it right now, you can't really hear any mistake, but if you load an EQ here, you can see that we have a lot of information below 40 Hz, and this can work sometimes. In general, you don't want to go too much below 20 Hz, which is kind of the really critical spot. But also in this case, I think it can be a bit too low. So the way you can fix that is by simply shifting the kick drum, so changing the pitch. Maybe the best way to do it is to separate it in top, body and sub, and change it only on the sub, so that you will leave the transient and the body as they are. But this can cause some problems because a lot of the frequencies in this range are not really audible, so you don't want to go too low with your kick drum. Moving on, we have some examples with some different tech house genres of how we can make the kick and the bass line work well. So we have this example, which is from our minimal tech house pack Isolate 4. We have this very subby bass line, which kind of sounds like a tom and percussion, and this is the kick drum. So we have a lot of body, really high transient that you can hear. And this helps a lot with this really sappy bass line, because it gives a bit more power and it makes them stand out a bit more. So this is the first combination that we have. Obviously, if you use this kick with some different bass lines, you can have some different outcomes, but this is a combination that can work well. Then we have this other combination, which is from our melodic tech house pack. In this case, we have this bass line here, which is a rolling bass line, and it's also a bit wide, which is combined with this kick. As you can hear, it's a really short kick. We don't have a lot of attack, a lot of transient, and this blends very well with this bass line. And then we have another combination with a more, let's say, commercial tech house, which is from Mirage 4. We have this bass line which is taking a lot of space, and it's really driving and powerful. So you want the kick to not be that aggressive and not be that long. So in this case we have a bit more focus on the body and on the transient of the kick. As you can hear, the sub is not that present because we have the bass line, which is adding a lot of power in the low end. And yeah, basically this is it for this tutorial on how to pick the perfect tech house kick drum. Don't forget to check out our packs from the link in the description below. Let us know what tutorials would you like to see next, and I'll see you soon. Bye!